Hey, what's up, guys? It's Sam, and yeah, you read the title right. I did break my arm, and it was really bad. Basically, I didn't actually break my whole entire arm. What I actually broke was my elbow, but yeah, it hurt a lot, and I'll be sharing, my experience and my story of how I broke my arm. This is the first time I ever broke my arm. It's the first time I actually broke any bone in my body. This is gonna be quite a long commentary, I think, because it is over the span of a few days, actually, or no. Actually, it's all in a weekend. But yeah, I would just be more explaining how I hurt my arm, how it broke and stuff. If I can, I'll put up pictures. Pretty sure I should be able to. And yeah, I also, if you didn't know, I went on a trip to Maui for the football game, and that's when I heard it. So I will be talking about the trip in another commentary, not this one. So sit back and enjoy. Alright, so it starts off on Saturday morning. Really early in the morning, I wake up, got all my bags packed from Friday, go to Maui, and then go to Kamehameha. Play the game, and during the game, I was doing alright. I wasn't doing as well as I should have because it was either the pants were really tight, because those pants are super tight. I got smalls thinking they would fit nice and snug, but those are super tight because we have two jerseys, so our away jersey is a lot tighter, and I didn't think it was going to be that tight, so now I know to get mediums. So I was a running back, and my job was to block for the play, so I run up to the line. It's all good, but I see these two guys getting around the side. I'm not sure if I can get the video footage. I'm pretty sure I can't, but I will try. If I can't, then sorry, but if I can, I'll put that at the end of the video. So basically, there's one guy coming for my quarterback. Well, there's two guys, one in front of me and then one right behind that other guy, like a couple feet. So I block that one guy. Bam, get a pretty good block. Throws him off balance, but I also got off balance too. And I looked up and I saw the other guy still coming for my quarterback, and everyone says don't stick your hand out. Well, what I did was I stuck my hand out, touched the ground so that I can get some good support, so I can rebalance myself and I can go block that other guy that's going for my quarterback. It wasn't like I was falling backwards and I put my hand down. No, I know I'm not supposed to do that, so I put my hand down to balance myself, like in front of me, like pretend you're falling down face first. You just put your hand out, and it wasn't like a straight arm either. It was like slightly bent, so I could touch the ground as soon as possible, but it wasn't gonna jar me or anything, and I'd be able to, absorb the impact and spring back up and make that block and protect my quarterback. But, I stuck my hand down, and other people have said don't stick your hand down no matter what, you just gotta roll. But, what am I gonna do? Am I just gonna tuck my hand in my arm and just roll and then let my quarterback get sacked and possibly get hurt? It's like we're a team, and my job is to protect the quarterback, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna go let a guy, if I can help it, or if I think I can help it, I can try, I'm gonna try to help him. But unfortunately, I stuck my hand down, just about to get my balance, but before I could get my balance and pull my arm back, the guy who I had blocked fell on top of my arm while it was almost straight, and then the whole thing, imagine your arm bending, instead of going outwards, the elbow went inwards, and it was just nasty. It was excruciatingly painful, and luckily quarterback didn't get sacked. So because last year we had our quarterback, not the one this year, but he already graduated, and he was out for this season because he got hit on his blind side. The whiplash and combination of the hit, the whiplash, the impact and everything gave him a concussion, a crazy concussion. Like he almost died, honestly. I'm not even exaggerating, he almost died. Like he had seizures and everything. He looked just like totally out of it, and then so he was sitting on the bench, and then he just fell over. Well, before he even got onto the bench, he was trying to walk off, and he fell down, like pass out, knockout kind, fall down, and then he goes to sit on top of the bench. Everyone helps him to the bench. He's sitting on the bench, and then he just falls down, and it's like he just fainted. So he went to the hospital and everything, and now he is fine, but he can't play any contact sports, so he just plays baseball, which is something that he loves to. But yeah, so I briefly thought of that, when I saw the guy coming around for my quarterback, I was like, this is not gonna happen to him. I didn't even think of myself getting hurt because honestly, the chances of me getting hurt were low in the first place. Why do you have all these shoulder pads? Why do you have these helmets? It's possible to get hurt, but it's hard to get hurt. And turns out I got hurt, but I'm glad that my quarterback didn't. Yeah, that's what happened. And they took me off the field. I was on the ground, and my dad had asked me earlier today, if when it happened, if I heard like a loud sound, but I didn't hear anything. Guess just all the pads crushing together in the helmets. But I could feel it though. Like I could feel the bone like crunching kind of, and like ripping and whatever it was doing. I didn't see it when I was on the field, but after I had went to the hospital, and then I looked at it, and if you can straighten out your arm right now and look at it, there's that little hole, that little pit that forms. Okay, now imagine your whole elbow just being like a huge pit, and on the very bottom of your elbow sticking out is a little lump from the bone. Yeah, from your forearm bone. It was really bad. I cried from pain, but I would say less than 10 seconds. The rest of the tears were just because I was so frustrated, like let your team down, can't play, because I was starting slot and can't play, can't hold my team. I mean, yeah, there's nothing I could have done because my elbow was dislocated. It can't use your arm. But I mean, it's just a feeling that you can't help anymore. You want to help, but you can't. That feeling is just really terrible, and that's how I was feeling. It was really bad pain. It was the most excruciating pain I've ever felt in my life. Like I've never felt anything that bad in my entire life. I'm completely honest right now. It hurt a hell of a lot. After I started to walk off the field, I didn't even cry anymore. I was just kind of disappointed that I wouldn't be able to help my team. But they're also thinking there's nothing I can really do. I was trying to do my job, and I did it. If I can get this film up, I don't know how, because it's on this huddle. I don't know, maybe I can get it on top of my computer and record the screen or something. But I prevented the sack, so my quarterback didn't get tackled. Like I was reaching out for my quarterback. I don't even know if he touched him or not. It looked like he did, and I hit him right off. So I was happy about that. But I was on the ground, and the trainer comes, and she already knows that it's dislocated because she's a trainer and she knows what that looks like. She asks me to squeeze her fingers, and I could close my fingers like I would say a couple centimeters, and that was it. I couldn't. It was just too hard, too much pain. But then they got a splint and they wrapped it up, and then I walked off the field. And then it was the second to last play from halftime, so I stayed for the next play while she was asking me questions, calling my dad, because my parents weren't at Maui. They could have gone, but they had to do other things, so they weren't able to make it. And if you can't, you can't. If you can, you can. That's great. But they couldn't, so they weren't there, and I had to call my dad. And I chose to purposely call my dad, because if I called my mom, she would probably go crazy. But if I call my dad, he's more calm and collective, and he understands, injuries and stuff. So I called him, and I told him what happened and stuff. And then so we went to the hospital. It was a while and what they actually had to do was they had to put it back together. And when I was in there, they had to take off my jersey and my pads, because at the game, I went to the hospital with all my pads on, because they didn't really know what to do with it, because they didn't know if it was really bad or you could take off your pads. But luckily we didn't even have to cut it. It was hard getting off the jersey, but after that it was easy. And I had this tight padded shirt underneath, like the Under Armour dry fit kind, with all the little hexagon pads, and that was probably the hardest one to get off, but we eventually did. And then so they had me lie down on top of the thing, kind of propped up a bit, and then they gave me like a bunch of drugs. Like they put in this kind of like a needle thing they put into your bloodstream, or your vein, so that everything can go directly into your bloodstream. And then it's like a little cone, I think it's called a catheter, and then so they can just get multiple syringes and shoot the medicine into you, rather than having to poke you multiple times, various syringes and stuff. So that was good. But the drugs are crazy. Like I was looking at this computer monitor screen for like the surveillance and stuff, at like security cameras, and it was split into fours, and those bottom two rows, it was like moving from the top all the way to the bottom, passed down the screen, and I was like, whoa. It didn't feel good at all. they gave me more drugs and stuff, and then I passed out, or like I fell asleep, and then I just woke up and I was in a cast. So I was like, oh sweet, because well, I didn't literally say sweet, but you know, I was kind of wondering what happened, but then I was like, I kind of knew, because I knew what they were doing before. And I didn't realize that I had fallen asleep though. That's the thing. I just woke up to this arm in a cast and a sling, which is pretty good, because I didn't get to feel any of it, which is really good, and I'm thankful for. Because they said if your muscles aren't completely relaxed, there's no way that they would be able to put it back in, because it's not like a shoulder where you can just pop it back in. The elbow is a lot different, because there's 2 bones in your forearm, and what they had to do was they had to hold my bicep so that the bone in my bicep was straight, was going perpendicular to the ground. It was straight up and down. And then they had to take my forearm, and then there's 2 bones in your forearm, so they had to spread it apart a little bit and then pull it, and just pull my whole forearm so that it wouldn't be past that bone in my bicep anymore. So they pulled it, and then they made sure that it fit back together. And it sounds pretty bad, and I'm pretty sure it is. So that's why they had to put me to sleep, so that all my muscles were totally relaxed, because without that they would not be able to put it together. And it had also fractured, not just dislocated, but fractured. So there's a small bone fragment, and what happened was the ligaments that are connected, they're connected to the bone. So the ligament is connected to a piece of bone on, you know, on the end. When it got dislocated, the ligament got pulled and stretched a bit, but the ligament was so strong that it ripped the bone off and the bone snapped. That's pretty bad. So they got the bone fragment back in place, which is good. It wasn't huge, but you know, it's pretty big though. But it doesn't look big compared to the other bones, but it's pretty big bone fragment. And so basically what's going to happen to that is it's either going to dissolve, and then the ligament will attach itself to the bone in a new spot, or the bone will like attach itself to the old bone with the ligament still on it. So the ligament will be attached to the bone either way, and that's how it'll heal. So yeah, that's my story. And right now I used to have a soft cast, but now I have this I think it's called a block brace or a block cast. I know there's block in it somewhere, because what it does is it blocks you. It restricts you to a certain range of motion. So right now I can move my arm up, but I can't move it down. It can only be, it's at a 100-degree angle right now, which is the most I can move it down, because if I move it down more, it's gonna be really uncomfortable and it'll be in a lot of pain. Oh yeah, by the way, I never cried any tears after I left the field, which I guess you could say is pretty cool. I didn't know that I could do that. I thought I would be crying, but I guess I'm surprisingly tough. But besides that, yeah, so the brace, it only allows you to go 100 degrees at the moment, and every week it'll be extended to more than 100 degrees. Every week it'll go a certain increment. I don't know what it is. It's probably like 10 degrees. So it'll keep going down and down and down. So I can move it up to increase my range of motion and to try to get me back into playing as fast as possible. But it's hurting right now, like if I try to move it up. So I mean, I have physical therapy, I think starting this week or next week, so it's pretty soon. And you know, there I'll get my strength back hopefully. But yeah, that's how I hurt my arm, guys. And that was my first bone ever broken, which is, I guess, an experience. An interesting one, whether bad or good. And I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this, and I hope you guys never have to go through what I did. But you know, if you do, then hey, post it as a response, and I'd like to see how you broke your arm and stuff like that. So oh yeah, and by the way guys, this is the first preseason game, which really sucks. So I'll be out for most of the season. I might catch the last couple games, but we'll have to see. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm Simple Sam, and I am simply out.
If you pass the noise, won't you blast the noise? I'm fucking old school, playing like those asteroids. Everything you looking at, and you know I got the truth, and I've been killing bitches.